Welcome back to Channel 9's rolling coverage of Queensland's devastating floods. Here are the latest details. The disaster has now claimed 15 lives. Another 61 people remain missing, and police hold very grave fears for 12, all at Murphy's Creek. Gundawindi residents in low-lying areas are being asked to evacuate to the showgrounds, with the river expected to peak at 10.85 metres. In Ipswich, 3,000 homes and businesses have been inundated. But some good news, with water levels dropping below 17 metres there after a 19.5 metre peak.
Real worry in Gundawindi tonight. Our thoughts with you there. Well, we're now going back to some of those incredible vision of rescue on the Brisbane River this afternoon. The yacht broke its mooring late this afternoon. This is the vision. A 40-year-old man can be seen on the boat as it floats out of control down the river towards Customs House. Well, a hole was torn in the bottom of the vessel and the boat was sinking. And we've highlighted a friend who happens to be in a tinny that came along and tried to save the man. You can hear the reaction from the shocked people on the riverbank as the boat hits a submerged object and then both are thrown into the water. The yacht then goes on the cartwheels. Amazing stuff. You can see how the men are sucked into the strong current. They are both struggling in the water as that water moves downstream, almost lost amongst all of that floating debris. Lots happening. Incredibly, we can tell you the two men both escaped with only cuts and bruises, and police say it should serve as a warning for everyone not to go on flooded waterways. They say even in waters that appear calm can be incredibly dangerous. Well, sportsmen are often seen as heroes, aren't they? But in a crisis like this, that's when their powers are needed most. From rugby league to cricket, many stars have been affected by the floods, and all the others just want to help.
Ipswich. It's the town where Shane Watson developed the skills to become a world-class cricketer.
When you actually see places that you grew up with your own eyes, it's horrendous. I'm going to be trying to come up to Ipswich as soon as I possibly can in between games to be able to help out in some way. Up
the road, rugby league star Chris Walker played his first game of footy.
As a Toowoomba boy living on such a high mountain, it was unbelievable to see. My father has lived there all his life, along with my mother, and they'd never seen anything before in their lifetime like it. So when I first heard the news and I saw the vision, I sort of didn't believe it at first. And we're looking to take at least four NRL teams up there for a bit help with the clean-up and just boost morale.
Greg Inglis's family have been evacuated from Milton.
Some stuff they couldn't save, like the majority of people up there, so like I said, hopefully they can find their feet real quick.
Whether directly or indirectly, everyone has been touched by this tragedy.
You're affected by that, even if you've never been to Australia or never been to Queensland. We need to do something special for those people.
I saw that little baby tsunami, if you can call it that, flowing through Brisbane and through the little villages, etc. And it really hurt me, and I wasn't happy about it going down to breakfast. It put me in a real good grump. So I thought over breakfast, what can I do? What can I try and do to help out?
Kevin Peterson inflicted plenty of pain on Australia's cricketers during the Ashes, but when it comes to the people of our country, he's been happy to help, setting up an auction on his website.
A bat I used in the Ashes, the one that I nicked off first ball in Perth. You'll be happy to know anybody in Australia can have that bat, so anybody anywhere in the world can have that bat. The shirt I wore the final day of the Ashes, that I wore the shirt that we won the Ashes on in Sydney. And then I've got 2 tickets to the Perth One Day International on the 6th of February, and whoever wins the prize or bids the highest money, I'll fly them in from wherever they are in the world. 2 nights accommodation at hopefully the team hotel.
A big gesture, but remember, even the smallest ones will make a difference.
I've got friends who have lost houses, lost businesses, and for me it's just, it's heartbreaking because you feel so helpless here. So I'm hoping to get up that way next week and sort of do what I can to help out.
I've got family in Brisbane. Even just being a Queenslander, to see the devastation in Brisbane is very heart-wrenching, and not a moment goes by when I'm not thinking about it.
And just dig deep, and then dig deeper, and then deeper still.
I definitely pledge to everyone throughout Australia, please help as much as you can and give as much as you can, because there's no doubt that it's going to require an amazing amount of money to be able to, especially to be able to get some normality back into these people's lives.
Oxley Road, very, very busy Brisbane road. Look at that, street signs, the only thing poking out.
Isn't that terrible, that house?
The whole street. Here we are driving the boat over the petrol station.
Looks like it would have got up above that awning too. The pump's just starting to poke out now at the top.
We had a few looters in there last night.
Looters?
Yeah, the doors were open and they were rat bags for breaking and stealing stuff.
So Pete, you stayed here this morning overnight watching?
Yeah.
And you just sat in the house and waited?
Sat in the house and waited and watched, and there was a few trying moments, I can tell you that. There was a lot of snakes too.
We already lost my brother's house in Chelmer.
Oh, really?
That's sort of all together. It's gone.
I can't even get in. I can't find my keys. It's just been such a frantic time just to get out. And then we had to evacuate anyway, so.
And last night, were you able to sleep at all, or were you just up worrying?
It was really horrible. Like, you just don't know what to think or what to do. It sort of makes you numb. Because I suppose that's the biggest thing you own, really, and you're still paying off.
There they go, surf rescue. Not much surf around here, but plenty of need for the experts and people to go around and see if anybody needs help.
Yeah, it was a really good insight, wasn't it? And an information hotline has been set up for relatives and friends of those affected by flooding. That number is 1300 993 191. Residents are being urged to stay off phones unless absolutely necessary to avoid congesting lines for emergency services.
That is our flood coverage for this evening. Of course, the Today Show will be back first thing tomorrow morning.
We'll leave you tonight with images from today to the music of Australian Idol singer Casey Barnes. The song is called Never Break You, and he's donating all the proceeds to the Queensland Flood Appeal. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Good night.
We will fight on and dream that dream right now. Justify